Is the Jimmy Butler trade working out like we thought it would? What do the Sixers need to do to improve their bench? And finally, can this team contend for the title as it is currently structured? I answer all these questions on the latest Bushy Baller Brand update. Stay tuned.
You probably think that you are better now.
Back in November, the Sixers made, which is still to this day, the biggest move of the NBA season by acquiring All-Star Jimmy Butler from the Timberwolves. This trade in the early stages had a lot of hype, as Jimmy had multiple game winners early in his Sixers career. Things have settled down since then, and we are finally able to assess how this trade is working out. So let's dive in. The Sixers' record since acquiring Jimmy Butler stands at 18-9, which is quite good for this team. Butler is averaging 18 points a game with the Sixers and has played amazing lockdown defense. Loads of people, once the Sixers made the trade, were worried about the locker room with Jimmy. He seemed to fit right in just fine and really stepped it up as a leader and is working hard for everything. But of course, a couple weeks ago, there was drama as Butler and Coach Brown reportedly got into a heated exchange. The only reason I personally was concerned is because I knew the media would make a big deal out of it. So recently there was talks of if Butler really fit in with this team or not, and more so if the Sixers should try and move on from him already. This is just absurd. He is a passionate player and someone who puts all his heart and soul into the game. So what if he gets upset at something? Jimmy Butler is an all-star who is going to be just fine with the Sixers, and we should not be concerned. This trade 100% was worth it, and I am begging the team to re-sign him this offseason. Now from the starter drama to bench drama. What in the world does this team need to do to help out this bench? They are struggling mightily at the moment. Now granted, TJ McConnell has been the classic TJ you expect with all the heart and grit, and Landry Shamet is off and on but has some great potential. The rest of the bench is suspect. We got some young pieces that may help out in the future and some old heads who aren't doing much. Mike Muscala was a solid bench player in the beginning of the season, but as of late he has been just terrible for this team. He hasn't shot well like he usually does, and his defense hasn't been anything special. Amir has completely fouled out of the rotation, and the rest of the guys are just two-way players. No, I'm not saying we need to make another trade, but something has to change. Whether it's giving up a young piece and a pick for a solid veteran or waiting for buyout season. But the Sixers have to make changes. It is tough to determine which ones to make though, because of course we got injured players with the likes of Markelle Fultz, Zaire Smith, and Justin Patton. All three guys are solid young players who can make an impact, but most likely not this season. For me personally, I'd look into the free agents available. Plenty of vets are sitting at home right now just waiting for the phone call to get back on the court. Possibly a guy like Corey Brewer, a solid veteran who knows the game well and can provide some nice veteran leadership for these young bench players. One thing is for sure, this bench has to improve. Which leads me to my final point. Can the Philadelphia Sixers make a legit run at the NBA title as the roster currently stands? In my personal opinion, after evaluating this team, I don't feel they have all the necessary pieces to make a legitimate run at the NBA title. Yet. This team needs to make a couple moves to solidify that bench. Sure, the Sixers most likely have 3 All-Stars, but they can only take you so far in this league. The best teams have a solid rotation and bench players who can keep the team in it. Embiid, Simmons, and Butler are currently one of the deadliest trios in the NBA and can be lethal when on. But they need more to win it all. Redick would need to step up, and I don't even know what to say about Wilson Chandler. Either he's got to step it up big time or we need to move on from him. Before this team thinks title, they need to think changes. The Sixers need to change Chandler's role and bulk up this bench with a couple of veterans if they want to think about the title. We are halfway through the season right now, and the Sixers stand at 4th in the East. I feel they'll finish with the 3 seed, but you bulk up that bench, we could be talking Eastern Conference champions. That's all I have for you on this edition of Bushy Baller Brand. Keep staying strong with this team and cheer them on with all your heart. This team can be deadly, and stay tuned for some more moves in the future. Bushy Blue signing off.
Candy paint with the white on top. Lambo doors or the woo-up drop. If you busy plotting on what I got, kick in your door, it's what you thought. $100,000 on the tabletop. Half price my whip, same price my watch. Got no jumper, but I ball her.